Now, court in Pakistan sentencing a Christian man to death over
mob attacks on the Christian community in eastern Punjab.
Now, a court in Pakistan has sentenced a former university lecturer.
A court in Pakistan has acquitted a Christian man who had been facing
Protests broke out across Pakistan over the mob violence in
40-year-old Peshawar
the day
Massacre in
after
the
a
eastern
mob
city of
burned down
Lahore was arrested back in
21
2013.
churches.
A Christian girl who is accused of blasphemy for allegedly burning Islam's holy book is...
Now, Bibi was convicted back in 2010 and sentenced to 10. She's been forced to stay with a man who abducted her at gunpoint.
Two suicide gunmen with explosive vests have entered a Christian church in Quetta, Pakistan and shot.
Welcome to Beyond the Pages, where we delve today into one of Pakistan's most tragic and complex stories, where religion, law, and human rights collide. According to the ASEAN International Religious Freedom in the World Report 2023, Pakistan is predominantly Muslim state, with 96.47% of its population following Islam. Christians make up 1.9%, Hindus are 1.32%, Buddhists account for 0.05%, Sikhs are 0.03%, and agnostics form 0.08%. Despite this diversity, tensions between Muslims and religious minorities have existed for decades, often sparking violence, particularly over accusations of blasphemy. In 1986, the Criminal Law Amendment Act introduced Section 295-C into the Pakistan Penal Code, which made defiling the name of the Prophet Muhammad a criminal offence, punishable by death or life imprisonment. This law has been at the center of numerous controversial and high-profile cases, including those of Idris Nahmad, Jafar Ali, Muhammad Ali, and Asiya Bibi, and many more which ignited nationwide debates and unrest. Today, we explore how a blasphemy accusation led to one of Pakistan's most tragic events, an outbreak of mob violence that shook the nation. Stay with us as we uncover how the spark of blasphemy ignited a massive inferno of chaos, destruction, and deep societal division. It was the dawn of 6th February 1997. The tranquil Christian village of Shanti Nagar, near Jaranwala in Punjab, Pakistan, awoke to the soft chimes of morning prayers and the sweet fragrance of blooming roses. St. Joseph Hostel lay in quiet slumber, unaware of the storm that was about to descend. The ashes of Shanti Nagar still linger in the wines of history. According to Martha John, a Shanti Nagar resident, on 17th January police raided the house of Raj Paul of Shanti Nagar because of alleged gambling and liquor sales there. No evidence was found, but during the raid the police allegedly threw a Bible on the floor and kicked it. It all started with an act of courage when the locals, standing up for the integrity of their holy book, filed a complaint against a police officer who had desecrated the Christian Bible by kicking and stomping on it. When the police officer was suspended, the people of Shanti Nagar celebrated, believing they had upheld justice and protected their rights as citizens. Some had idea this act would ignite a devastating chain of events. On 5th February 1997, burnt pages of the Quran were found outside a mosque near Shanti Nagar, with the name and address of a notorious gambler, Baba Raji, written on them. This enraged the local Muslim community, especially during the holy month of Ramadan, triggering deep feelings of anger and resentment. The flames of this anger were stoked by local clerics, who used the mosque's loudspeakers to spread inflammatory sermons, accusing the Christians of disrespecting the Quran, the holy book, and calling for retribution. The situation quickly escalated as these messages of vengeance grew louder, and the streets filled with calls for violence. The idea of punishing the entire Christian community in the region spread, with some even advocating for burning down all the Christian villages in the district to teach them a lesson. Martha John narrated, Carnival police incited the residents of nearby villages to desecrate churches and loot and burn houses. As the night lingered, a distant noise broke the silence, a murmur, a chant, a growing roar. A violent mob, armed with clubs, explosives, and blind hatred, approached under the cloak of darkness. Their target, the heart of Shanti Nagar's community, the church, the school, the hostel. Flames erupted, consuming the historic church, its walls crumbling, its dignity scorched. But the mob's thirst for destruction was far from quenched. Morning arrived, but with it, a renewed wave of violence. The mob returned, larger, louder, deadlier. Police forces, though present, stood as silent spectators, overwhelmed or perhaps unwilling. The church was set ablaze once more. Homes were pillaged, schools were vandalized. Students and staff leapt from windows, fleeing the inferno as terror swept the village. The attacks left devastation in their wake. Official records indicate 13 churches were burned in Shanti Nagar alone, along with 3 schools and colleges, 775 houses, and 10 shops in civil lines, Khanewal. The Human Rights Commission of Pakistan's Fact-Finding Commission, which visited the village on 10 February 1997, described this as the worst case of violence against a religious minority since the anti-Ahmadi riots of 1989 in Chak Sikandar. The attackers came prepared. They wielded chemicals capable of melting iron, reducing structures to ashes with terrifying efficiency. This wasn't mere mob violence, it was calculated devastation. More than 2,500 homes were destroyed, and over a dozen churches were reduced to rubble. Countless families were displaced, their lives shattered. And the terror didn't end there. Nearby villages like Chakno, 10 or 31 were next on the hit list, narrowly saved by the intervention of the military. Army officials met with a retired army soldier who was chief of the village at the time. The chief was promised protection and Imdad Khan Niazi was condemned for his evil designs against Christians. The danger was temporarily thwarted, but the hatred remained in the hearts of the people. Sharifan Bibi, an elder of Shanti Nagar, stated, "We saw smoke rising from Tibba around 6 a.m. and knew our village would be next." Another resident, Sana Bibi, explained, "We had to place our hands over the children's mouths to stifle their screams, otherwise, the mob would have come for us." Newborns were delivered amidst the chaos, one child named Saneha, meaning calamity, and another named Fool Dildar. It was a painful day. Survivors described the horror of losing everything, homes, sacred spaces, and loved ones, while the authorities stood idle. James, a survivor, recalled, "It was the 27th night of Ramjan, and the faithful had gathered in mosques and madrasas in Khanewal for a night of prayer. News travelled that someone had torn pages of the Quran, and within no time, the report spread through mosques and loudspeakers across the area. There are 8 Christian-majority villages near Khanewal, and the plan was to teach all of them a lesson. The DCO and ADC assured us that everything was under control and nearly 400 police officers were being sent to handle the situation. Instead, Tibba and Shanti Nagar burned. Chucks 81 and 82 10 were next. But the local cleric told the mob to leave the Christians' homes alone and burn the church. They did. For a long time, we did not want anything to do with our Muslim neighbors. The terror didn't end with the fire. It lingered in whispered threats, in the unfulfilled promises of safety, in the echoes of molten rooftops and burnt prayer books. Leaders like Chaudhry Astar Fazal stepped forward, advocating peace, only to face threats and ultimately, martyrdom at the hands of those who could not tolerate unity. The Christian community hoped for justice. But justice, it seemed, was blindfolded not with impartiality but with indifference. Despite the overwhelming evidence, no perpetrators faced consequences. The courts failed to deliver accountability. The Pakistani government had promised to protect the lives and property of minorities, but it failed in its duty. Since then, numerous mob attacks targeting minorities have occurred, including specific instances such as Gojra Riots, August 2009, Christian homes were set ablaze, resulting in 8 deaths. Joseph Colony Attack, March 2013, 170 houses torched following a blasphemy accusation, causing displacement. Peshawar Church Bombing, September 2013, suicide bombers attacked All Saints Church, killing over 80 worshippers. Lahore Church Bombings, March 2015, 2 churches in Jaranwala bomb, killing 15 and injuring over 70. Lahore Easter Bombing, March 2016, suicide bombing at Gulshan-e-Iqbal Park, killing over 70 people. Jaranwala Attacks, August 2023, over 20 churches and 100 homes destroyed due to blasphemy allegations. Sargodha Blasphemy Attack, May 2024, 72-year-old Nazir Masih was attacked and succumbed to injuries. Although the destruction in Shanti Nagar has ended, the memory of it still affects. When justice is delayed, it's like justice is being denied. Until the people responsible are punished, the impact of that day will remain a dark mark on our society's sense of right and wrong. Yet, in the aftermath of tragedy, Shanti Nagar rose, not in hatred, but in hope. On the 20th anniversary of the massacre, the villagers gathered, not in anger, but in remembrance. A towering cross now stands in the village square, not just as a monument of grief, but as a beacon of resilience. A message by Beyond the Pages. As we reflect on the painful chapters of history, we must hold on to hope for a brighter future. A future where intellectual cooperation and mutual discussions on our differences become the foundation of a peaceful society. It is essential that we engage in open dialogue and understanding to prevent such tragic incidents from recurring. Let us empower our judiciary to thoroughly investigate every blasphemy case, ensuring that justice is served by the courts, not by the hands of those who seek to harm others in the name of religion or justice. Only through unity, respect, and true justice can we build a society where every individual, regardless of their faith, is protected and treated with dignity. Let the stories be told, let the memories live on, and let the hope for a just world never fade. If you liked this documentary, don't forget to like and subscribe to Beyond the Pages for more insightful videos. Your support helps us bring important stories to light.